Namaste.
Namaste.
Anandji, thank you so much for coming. I know it was super generous of you, and we have moved dates and times also. So, thank you for coming and giving us time. Whenever I actually either look at your name on the phone or hear your name, the way that I remember is the first time that I met you. I think it was the Holi Festival.
Yes.
And you had a booth. Um, and the journey from there for me was to come for Hindustani classes, and I would try my best to do justifications for all the services and accomplishments that you have, and so much of Saraswati Kataksham that I feel ki, you do singing, you play so many instruments, and you're into cooking, and then there are so many books that you have written, and so many Hindi. I think you also teach Hindi. So
Right.
I would try to get to most of that stuff, but tell me how you're doing today.
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm so happy to be among your great team, and so happy that you invited me to this session here to talk to you.
Very
So,
super blessed. We feel super blessed. So I'll start with where I started with you,
Sure.
which is the Hindustani music.
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about where you started. What are you doing in that area right now, in the music area from Hindustani point
Sure.
of view?
So I was born in Bombay, or
Okay.
what was Bombay at that time, and I started sort of learning how to play harmonium when I was in 9th grade.
Okay.
And then my harmonium teacher, after a few years, told me, "Why don't you go and learn tabla?" So I started learning tabla. And then in 1998, I came to US, and I was at that point I had sort of come away from music.
Okay.
But in a few years, one of my neighbors said, "Why don't you teach our kids?" So I
Okay.
said, "Fine," So I started like teaching the kids, and with that, with one student,
Tabla.
I started with singing.
Oh, okay.
Singing and harmonium. Okay. Within a year or two, we went to tabla, and then I got a few, white students or Americans, and they said, they were learning tabla, and they said, "We also want to learn the Hindi language."
Okay.
So I said, "Fine, we'll do that also." So I started like teaching, and as I started teaching, gradually I started writing notes, and those notes finally got compiled into books.
Oh,
So that was a journey. So it was 20 years back. I started in 2005, and it's 20 years now. I've been teaching everything.
teaching music.
Teaching Hindustani classical singing, playing harmonium and keyboard, playing tabla, and teaching Hindi language. And then every now and then I like to dabble in my profession, which I was actually trained for, was cooking.
Okay. Yes, I remember. I think when I stopped coming for the classes, then you have a group, right? So I will get to that. But from the music point of view, I remember when I used to come to classes. Other than teaching music, you also compose music, right? Ragas, like I remember something. Can you like expand a little bit of
So
what you used to do?
Hindustani classical music is always supposed to be composed live. It's
Okay.
It is never supposed to be something like Western music,
Why do you say that?
because in Hindustani music, what we only define is the raga, and raga is a broad framework. Okay. Now in that framework, you can compose you sometimes have a bass song,
Okay.
but then the elaborations of that song are always to be composed by yourself.
What is there a term for that? Where that elaboration is called?
I'm say the most popular format today in Hindustani music is called Khayal. There are other
Okay.
formats also, Tumri, Tappa, and semi classical formats like Ghazal and Qawwali. But Khayal, if you think about the word, means thoughts.
Yes.
So basically, you have to expand your thoughts within the musical idiom.
Okay.
So it is not supposed to be composed.
It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be done
It's
live.
supposed to be done live from whatever. There is a framework, but within that framework, you actually compose live on the stage.
So today on the show, if I ask you to sing something, would be generous enough to sing something for us
Sure, we could try a little bit of it.
later?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about your cooking experience. How did that start?
So I think most human beings, I see my own kids today. Our creativity is first hand is what we eat. So if
Okay.
you so. I probably was 13 or 14, and I see both my kids today doing the same thing. If you are a creative person,
Okay.
you start experimenting with your own food.
Okay.
So if you're making an egg, you normally make a fried egg or you make an omelette, you start doing something more than that.
Different.
Something different,
Yeah.
with a simple thing as egg. So I started cooking at home
Okay.
when I was probably 13 or 14. I don't remember exactly, but I started cooking. And at one point, as I was looking for my career, somehow I found a hotel management college.
Okay.
So I
And this is back in India?
It is back in Bombay.
Bombay, okay.
So I enrolled into the hotel management school and did their degree, diploma in hotel management. And then I was fortunate to be hired by the Taj group of hotels in Bombay.
Oh, they're very popular, right, in India?
Yeah, Taj group, the main hotel
Taj
was built
group,
in
okay.
1903, right? So Taj group is one of the two biggest groups in India.
Right.
So I worked with them, and then I also taught in cooking in colleges in Bombay for 4 years.
Wow.
So cooking is the closest thing to my heart.
Closest thing. I have eaten, like, the few times that I was there and learning Hindustani, I've eaten. It's fantastic food. But I also know on the cooking aspect, you have either a group or a YouTube channel where you post. Like, tell me a little bit more.
I have a
about
YouTube channel. I have made some YouTube cooking videos.
Okay.
I also run a WhatsApp group.
What's the name of it?
Well, it is part of the Mumbaikar group. There's a Mumbaikar group in Dallas of
Okay.
people of Mumbaikars, and we have a subgroup which is sort of people who are all interested in cooking. So we have about 500 people in that group
Wow.
who
Okay.
all posts, cooking related stuff. It could be kitchen, restaurants, whatever.
Right. So this inspiration of cooking, would you say, and I'm saying this, I'm just going back, I remember your mother's name is same as mine, Padma,
Yes.
and I take super privileged. I feel like I have accomplished something. I don't know what it is, but just knowing that my name actually is same as your mother's, right? Would you say that the inspiration for cooking has come from mommy or just like that?
No, it always comes from mothers
Mummy
and
only.
sisters.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. But then my mother, my grandmother, my aunts,
Okay.
so many people,
So, since we are talking about cooking, personally, I want to say that I do follow that WhatsApp group that you have. Not every single day, but you come up with so delicious and then also so much healthy
Sure.
recipes that you bring in. So, thank you for doing that for everybody. And then a lot of people they add to that group. On the books that you have written, I know there are so many areas that you have written and so much of service that you're doing. As I said earlier, I always remember you as the very down to earth, the most accommodating person that I've seen, but always giving. And I think that's what I really want to bring on the show, which is
Thank you.
even though this is what I saw, even though there is personal interest that you have bought into, like as a child, there are interests that you have, and your kids are doing the same thing, but also an additional component that I have personally seen is there is that aspect of giving. So while you're doing so many things that you're doing, tell me a little bit about your own experience when you're doing all these things for the community, not just for yourself. There is an aspect within ourselves where we're like, oh, you know what, I feel so proud. I don't want to put any words for that, but you tell me your experience of, like, you're doing so many things for people. So your own experience of, like, what is it? Is it gratitude? What do you get? Like, tell me a little bit more about that.
So it's at the end of the day, it's your own satisfaction of the creative process.
Okay.
So as you're teaching, and particularly the sessions where you were in my
Yes,
class.
yes.
So if I remember, we were doing a rag, and I wanted to do something out of the blue, out of the mold, which
Okay.
we normally do. We have two basic tals, a 4-beat one and a 3-beat one. I wanted to do a 5-beat one.
Right.
Okay, and in that particular instance, if I remember, I found just a tune on internet, and I really liked the tune, which was in a raga, but there were no words to that song.
Right.
So I just took the tune and I wrote the first 2 lines. I just from where I don't know, I wrote that first 2 lines and I started teaching you all.
Right. I remember
And
that.
then as I was teaching you all, it took 2 weeks to teach you all the first 2 lines.
Yes.
The tune solidified in my head, and then I wrote the next 4 lines. Okay, and within a month we had that song, and obviously the elaborations, which I said are composed.
Right.
So But I also feel that all this happens when there is an active group of people, you know. I think when you came, there were 4 or 5
Yeah, we were
people,
five. Yes.
and all of them were dedicated, all of them were willing to do that. So it is always a two, you know, as we say in Hindi, tali ek haath se nahi
Nahi
bajti.
bajti hai,
So we have
right.
2 groups of people, you know, people who are willing to sit there and learn from you, and then you go an extra mile. So it is a creative process where everybody gets benefited.
Right. So I do remember, and correct me if I'm wrong,
Sure.
you play like in temples, some events also. You organize. I remember like you have like some set of people that if there is an event or something, you know, you go either play bhajans or you sing. Tell me a little bit about that aspect of the service that you do for the community.
Sure. So for many years, I have taken my students to
Okay.
perform bhajans at the temples.
Okay.
We have done at the Irving Temple.
Okay.
We have done at Shri Ram Mandir in Plano. We have
Okay.
done at Radha Krishna Temple. And we generally, my students have participated in the Sanskriti competition at Radha Krishna Temple last 6 years now.
That usually happens in
Yes.
Jan or Feb.
January,
Yeah, they
yeah.
just sent out the dates
Yes,
yesterday. Yes,
yes.
yes.
So we have participated in that, and besides that, you know, every now and then, sometimes people will call us for community events. So we just go and perform whatever is required, you know.
Tell me a little bit about while you're doing what you're doing, any time at in your life at any point, do you have a perception of, you know what, this is what I want to accomplish with so many things that you're doing, like eventually like an end goal or something, I really want to go through this process, or teaching is one aspect and being available for the society is another aspect. While you're doing all that, just giving out that compassion and love for another human being. But like, do you have a vision for yourself?
I surely want to do a lot more than what I've been able to do. There is always this unending desire as humans to do more. So what I want to do is, I want to, whatever I'm doing right now, you know, I want to probably take it online so that more people can benefit out of it.
You
know, the
mean
music
music
teaching,
as well,
the
yeah.
music teaching. In my Hindi teaching, actually I have developed a method which is very different from how Hindi is taught in India.
Okay, how is that?
So if you see, the biggest problem for Indian kids or Desi kids who are born in US is when they look at the Hindi letters and they will say, wow, there are these, you know, about 40 different characters, and then
yeah.
each one gets multiplied by 12, you know.
Yes.
So you are looking at about 700 characters, and then they'll compare and say, in English there are only 26, in Hindi there are so many. So what I have done is I developed a method where I actually ask them to do only 5 characters at one point.
Okay.
I have numbered them in a way, and then I have developed, I've written 7 Hindi workbooks based on that method of learning. So they actually start learning to read 2-letter words, and they slowly, gradually go to sentences, and, you know, so I've developed that method. So I find a lot of creative satisfaction personally
Okay.
in creating something, you know, and then
Okay.
ensuring that if that method could be taught to, you know,
Right.
students.
From there, then I want to come to a point where I have observed and I noticed, and I really appreciate this about you, which is you are a father, but you are a guru. Most of the time I see you in that room with so many things happening. There is that whiteboard with the Hindi and then the music and all
Sure.
that stuff. And one, among many aspects that I've seen, एक चीज़ मैंने आप में देखा है
जी.
जो बहुत अच्छी, like बड़ी चीज़ है, which is very amicable and thankful, is you have so much of patience with people. And then also when you see a student that they are struggling, आपकी जो सिस्टम होती है, आपकी जो टीच करने की प्रोसेस होती है, it's something which will draw even somebody who has no experience in either Hindi or music, right? So there are few aspects. Instead of me saying, many times you talk about this. So say somebody is struggling, उनको experience नहीं है, या उनको ध्यान नहीं है, या सीखने का interest नहीं है, लेकिन आप ऐसे फैक्टर्स उसमें डालते हैं कि उनको खुद लगता है कि कितना अच्छा है, कितना प्यारा है, मुझे सीखना है. तो वो एस्पेक्ट्स के बारे में बताइए, so that everybody knows that, you know, because when people learn something, there are so many blockages in the mind. It might be age, it might be something that they have. So I want to get to those things, the things that you offer to people.
So one of the things which I feel is generally in our culture, Desi culture, when we were particularly in India, we were often told is that you don't have a good voice, you don't sing. You know, when I first started actually learning, and I started learning harmonium, I didn't learn to sing.
Okay.
So my teacher used to tell me, you don't have a good voice, don't sing.
Okay.
So I think we have this thing where if you are even at a party and people tell you to sing, the first thing people will say, no, I'm a bad singer.
That's
a
me.
bathroom.
I am there.
75% of the people
Yeah.
have sort of got into that belief.
It's the conditioning of the mind.
It is the conditioning of the mind.
Yeah.
So you take that conditioning away. Secondly, we are today in a world where, you know, any kind of voice, whether it's sweet, rough, can sing. You see that in mainstream Bollywood movies and things like, right? So today we are willing to accept anything, and that is when you take that open mind and say, you know, just experience it. You know? So I think that is it. The other thing which I personally feel is, as I teach, you know, particularly singing. So singing is done at 5 or 6 levels.
Okay.
So when I say 5 or 6 levels, you obviously have the tune, but the tune, there will be a sargam, right? Okay. So any song, for example, if I'm taking Gama pa pa ma ga, gama pa pa ma ga, uthe sab ke kadam. So there is a sargam, and then there are words, uthe sab ke kadam, dekho ram pam pam. So on top of that, right? So there is sargam, there are words, okay? But then you also have in this particular song, because it's like a dance song, right? So you have to say the words as if the words are jumping out.
Okay.
Okay? So if you don't say in that tone, they won't come in, right? Then you have to have breathing, right? Wherever, you know, breaths. So you have these 4 layers at least, okay? And the pronunciation of the words, 5. So when you're singing, you have to be conscious of all 5 layers. Okay. Now you can't do all 5.
No, right.
In real time, when you're singing, you can't do all 5.
Okay.
So what you have to do is you have to master one of them. Okay. Then it's like breathing. You don't have to put any conscious effort for breathing. Right. Similarly, you master say tal or swar, and then the others you can concentrate on others. But so when I'm teaching, coming back to your question, when I'm teaching, sometimes I feel, oh, I sang this piece. When I sang this piece, my jaw, my tongue, you know, some part of the voice,
the physical aspects of
physical
us,
aspect did something. Okay. So I tell my students often, when you sing the same piece, be aware what is happening in your jaw, in your tongue, in your mouth. Okay. Okay. And then once you be aware, it's almost like meditation. Try to take that and capture that again and again so you can replicate it for yourself. Okay. Obviously, what I am doing is not exactly what you will do.
Same, it's not. Right.
Okay.
But something
But you
is
have
moving.
to be conscious. Now, this is beyond the sur, the tal, the words, and everything else of that song. So when you are teaching, I think these insights come to you. Okay. And I think I should share with my students. Yes. And that is where I feel most happy.
Yes, I have seen that, and we were super blessed in that way. That's why I wanted to bought it, because I have done lots of experiments, you know, lots of instruments and singing, right? In life has, like, you know, we have faces, so. But one thing was very obvious in your teaching was that aspect. So thank you for sharing that. I'm pretty sure lots of people will benefit from that. Tell me a little bit about the books that you have published.
So I have written a book on Hindustani classical music. Okay, I've written one book, and I think the biggest thing about that book is that this is probably one of very few books written in English on Hindustani music, because everything which is written in India is written in, you know, Hindi or one of the, you know, regional languages. No Hindustani music books are ever written in English.
So क्या लिखा है आपने
So
उसमें?
it is about 250 pages. First 100 pages are 8 basic rags: Yaman, Kalyan, Bageshri. So rags, and there are 3 or 4 songs in each rag. Okay, and the elaborations.
And these are your compositions?
No, they are not my compositions. They are traditional. Most of them are traditional, but the elaborations, some of them are my compositions. Okay. And then the other 100 pages are popular songs. I have about 10 bhajans, 10 Indian patriotic songs.
Okay.
So I have sargams for all that. So if somebody wants to play them on a guitar or a harmonium or any instrument, doesn't matter.
Okay.
So I have written the sargams for all those songs, and some Bollywood songs, some bhajans. So I have those.
So that's a brilliant thing, because anybody who is non-Indian, right? Anybody who cannot speak any or read any of our languages, whether Hindi, so for them it would be super beneficial.
Yes, yeah.
Right?
So basically, when people ask me, when new students come in and they tell me how long I do have to learn, I tell them, so the book has a particular grammar, right? So I tell them that you should just learn how to read this book, which should take about a few months, 5 to 6 months. Once you learn to read it, that is, my job is done.
Oh, okay.
Then you can read on your own and reproduce it on an instrument.
When I'm asking that question, something struck me. Kids who are born here, like our Indian kids who are born here, sometimes they're very crushed for time. Sometimes they don't have extra time to either learn our language, because they are so busy with so many things that they do. And I think for that group of audience, it's such a great blessing that they can still explore and see what's out there, but at the same time it's written in English. So
Right.
Very brilliant. One aspect that I have noticed while I was learning with you and whenever I met you was the spiritual aspect and your faith in Bhagavan. Whether we talked about day-to-day things or anything in particular or the serious things, I've always noticed there is that grounding in you and that faith in God. You share with us that spiritual aspect of yours, because I think, and sorry for interrupting, that it shows in your teaching, and I think it's for somebody who experiences that on the other side, there is a lot that they're gaining. So I really want you to share.
So personally, I feel that I'm not a very religious person, to truly tell you, but I also feel that whenever I'm singing bhajans, I feel myself very engaged than other forms of music.
Okay.
So when it is a bhajan, like if it is Raghupati Raga Raja Ram or something like that, I feel totally engrossed in that.
Okay.
So that is, I do not know, I feel there is this element of bhakti which comes in. I was also exposed, in my school, besides learning Hindi in regular schools in India, I went, in India we used to have what was called as in Bombay Rashtra Bhasha Hindi exams. So we used to learn for 4 months a year. We used to do 2 or 3 hours extra Hindi every day. But the elements which came out of which really caught my attention there was all the poetry of Kabir, all the poetry of Mirabai, So those, I think, were formative experiences for me, okay, and those have really, those keep on coming back to me, the Nirgun Bhakti and all that. Okay, adding on to that, if I may say, I'm a Sindhi. My family migrated from Karachi in 1947.
Okay.
Now, Sindhis are a curious breed because we call ourselves Hindus. Okay. However, the region of Sindh, as you see today, was ruled by Muslims since 7th or 8th century.
Right.
Okay. So a lot of mannerisms came from the Muslim culture, because we were heavily influenced by the Muslim culture, because the rulers were there. Additionally, the Ishta Devta for Sindhi Hindus is Jhulelal.
Okay. Is it Radha's one? Krishna's one?
No, he's not considered an avatar. He's considered an avatar of Varun Dev,
Oh, Varun Dev.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's god of waters.
Yes.
Okay. So, but again, he has a Muslim root because Muslim also prays to him.
Okay.
Pray to him. So he was a saint like Sai Baba who had both Hindu followers and Muslim followers.
Okay.
And that is the Ishta Devta for Sindhi Hindus. Then additionally, Sindhi Hindus' second Ishta Devta is Guru Nanak Ji, who is the establisher of the Sikh religion. So now we have Sindhi Hindus who are Hindus, but they essentially have a lot of Muslim faith elements and Sikh elements. So I think Sindhis, and me included, we are very secular because of all this.
Very true.
So all those elements come together, I think, in my personality.
Beautifully said and beautifully presented. I think you composed it like really well, and thank you for doing that, because that's what I had and I just couldn't present myself, but I wanted to hear it from you. बच्चे कैसे हैं?
मेरे बच्चे बहुत अच्छे हैं.
Naam, or what are they doing right now?
I have a 22-year-old daughter, Khushbu, who is in college. And then I have 14-year-old twins, Dev and Chandani.
That's why I asked. I remember, like, among many unique things that I remember about is like they're these twins. So what are they doing right now?
The twins are in 9th grade.
Okay.
And they are doing cooking. That's what they want to do.
Oh, at school or?
No, at home.
At home, at home. Mommy, take care.
Huh?
And your wife as well?
Yeah, my wife is doing great.
Thank you very much, all of them. Before we end, kuch गा के सुना दीजिए. Whatever you like, or play something, whatever you're comfortable with. Just it's like a blessing. So it's like it would be super generous of you if you can just.
So I'm going to sing a very traditional piece from the Raag Yaman. It is devoted to Krishna ji.
Oh,
okay.
Thank you.
So, Tori re bansuriya, jadu bhari tori re bansuriya, jadu bhari मोह लियो मन प्रेम एक घड़ी मोह लियो मन प्रेम एक घड़ी तोरी रे बांसुरिया जादू भरी.
Thank you so much. It was beautiful. Abhi, anything that you have composed that you might want to sing for us?
Oh, what I have composed?
Only if you can. I just put you in the spot, sorry.
I don't know if you remember that song, but I'm one which you were in class that about that little girl, which we said was.
I know. Oh my God, I know.
Because that was the song I composed, and it was. Chanda Dheere Dheere.
Then Dheere Dheere Chand. Right.
Dheere. I don't remember the tune completely.
Now since you.
Dheere Dheere Chanda Re, something like that.
Dheere Dheere Chal Chanda, something like that. It was a beautiful composition.
Soi Hari Godiya Meri.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yes. But thank you for bringing that up. It's super nice.
So this is a traditional piece in Raag Yaman, Yaman Kalyan. Tori re bansuriya, jadu bhari tori re bansuriya, jadu bhari मोह लियो मन प्रेम घड़ी मोह लियो मन प्रेम एक घड़ी तोरी रे बांसुरिया जादू भरी बिसर गई सब सुन मुरली को बिसर गई सब सुन मुरली को नाही पड़े मोहे चैन एक घड़ी नाही पड़े मोहे चैन एक घड़ी तोरी रे बांसुरिया जादू भरी तोरी रे बांसुरी तोरी रे बांसुरी तोरी रे बांसुरिया जादू भरी.
Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you so much. It was super fantastic. I miss your classes. I really do. I have all the papers with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never lost it. And then I'm looking at this, and then I was actually skimming through this thing, and this looks like exactly the papers that you have given me, right?
Yes.
So these are the 2 books that you have published.
Yes.
Where can somebody find this?
So there is my website, Discover. So my class is called Desi Roots, right?
Okay.
So add the word discover to it, discoverdesiroots.com.
So one can actually order this.
Yeah, you can order
books.
from there.
So I'm just going to show it to them.
Yeah.
That's that. Here. Right? So that's one. And then I have this. It says discover Desi roots, simple Hindi conversations, right? So there's that. Looks super fantastic with yellow color and orange color. So we I don't know how to say this. अभी बच्चा है जैसे बोलते हैं ना रात अभी बाकी है.
जी.
So this is just a snapshot. आप फिर से आइए. You know, it was
बिल्कुल.
super blessed, and from start to finish, you know, very thankful, and there is so much that you have offered, and I'm super happy, and I'm pretty sure everybody is so happy. So आप आते रहिए.
जी जी.
आप हमारे लिए गाते रहिए.
बिल्कुल.
Okay. Best wishes and namaste.
Thank you very much.